We were stripped, filmed, treated like criminals, made to sleep on the floor. Nigerian DJ accuses Philippine immigration of racism, inhumane treatment. About 30 of them followed us with cameras to search us like we were criminals. Hi, sweethearts. Welcome back to my channel. Who else is in Ghana and enjoying the beautiful weather for the past since how many weeks now? Have you noticed the cool weather in Ghana? Let me know in the comment section. Charlie, when was the last time you on your AC? Me, I know they carry on AC again for house. When you are inside the house, the weather is it's airy, yes, it's cool, but it's different. Like it's different from where you're sitting in an open space. So after buying the stuffs I came to buy at the mall, I decided to just sit outside the Vida Cafe here to enjoy the fresh air Motherland has blessed us with. So happy new month, sweethearts. It's gonna be noisy a little because I'm outside, of course, so but you'll bear with me. Why? So I came across this post on Twitter. These are some of the heartbreaks that comes with having the Nigerian international passport or traveling with the Nigerian international passport. You see, when we complain about these things, a lot of people don't really see big deal, especially people who don't travel. The people who don't travel, they don't see the importance of having an international passport. Like, you hear them say, where am I traveling to? I'm not going anywhere, so why would I need one? They are not really bothered. But for some of us who know the value of having that passport, some of us who enjoy traveling, we are bothered, because the people who commit these crimes don't think about you that is innocent. See, so this Nigerian DJ was invited to Philippines. The video you watched was her experience at the airport. Charlie, you can imagine, like, they want to search you, right? And over 30 immigrations open their cameras and start recording while they're checking your luggage. Like, is that how it's done? Let me know in the comment section, because it didn't make sense to me. I thought it's maybe one or two immigration officers or custom or whatever will check your luggage if they suspect anything. What was the idea of having all the plenty people carry cameras, start recording, I think they were hoping to see something, right? To find something in her luggage. Anyway, so the DJ narrated her ordeal at the airport on Twitter. So this was posted last month, July. Rachel Oluwabukola Martins, popularly known as DJ Dimple, has shared a disturbing account of how she and her best friend were racially profiled, harassed, and inhumanely treated by over 30 immigration officers at Manila's Nino Aquino International Airport, Philippines, without any justifiable reason. Recounting her ordeal in a detailed personal statement titled "My Manila Immigration Nightmare," Martins narrated how her excitement to perform in the Philippines quickly turned into one of the most traumatic experiences of her life. I was so excited about my gig in the Philippines. I had prepared thoroughly, spent a lot of money, made all the necessary arrangements, and was genuinely looking forward to the experience, she wrote. But Charlie, you can imagine when you don't already plan something, like, oh my God, you've planned how you're going to shut down the place with your disc, all those things that DJs do with your DJ swag. Only for you to get to the airport, they tell you, Charlie, not here. Oh my God. Anyway, so according to her, she and her best friend departed Lagos on a connecting flight. According to her, she and her best friend departed Lagos on a connecting flight through Qatar. Is it Qatar or Qatar? Through Qatar, and landed in Manila at approximately 4 p.m. But immediately upon arrival at immigration, things took a dark turn. She said, I traveled with my best friend. Our flight departed Lagos at 3 p.m. on Friday and arrived in Qatar at 12:20 a.m. Qatar. That leg took 7 hours and 20 minutes. After a long walk through the airport, we connected to our flight to Manila scheduled for 1:30 a.m. Due to bad weather, it was delayed by an hour. We finally departed and spent 9 hours and 30 minutes. We finally departed and spent 9 hours and 30 minutes. So due to bad weather, it was delayed by about an hour. We finally departed and spent 9 hours and 30 minutes in the air. We landed in Manila around 4 p.m., but everything changed the moment we got to the immigration. We greeted the officers politely, but they were cold and unwelcoming. Still, we remained respectful and handed over our passports, interrogation, and invasive searches. Despite complying with all requests, the two were taken to an immigration office and left for hours without explanation. You know, when they don't check your documents finish, everything they valid. You and Kasa, you are sure you're carrying all the, required documents with you, and you're not carrying anything, out of the ordinary, your luggage. They'll take you to an interrogation room and just leave you in an office, more like a detention thing. Just sit there. Nobody explained to you why you are being kept there. Nobody is telling you, okay, this is why we are bringing you in here. This is it. They just keep you there and go back to work. Oh, Charlie, I'm trying to imagine. I'm trying to put myself on their shoes. It's not funny. So she said, Martin explained they asked for our visas, which we presented, and then requested every supporting document, which we also presented, which we also provided. When asked if it was our first time in the Philippines, we said yes. They asked if we had cash. I told them I had $500 cash on me and my cards as backup. I explained we were being sponsored by CCMNL, the organizers of the event, and I answered all their questions. Honestly, they took our photos and we were assumed we were about to be let through. Instead, one of the officers asked us to follow him to the immigration supervisor's office. We were left there for 3 hours without a word. At one point, I was extremely pressed and asked to use the restroom. A male officer followed me like a criminal. I felt deeply uncomfortable. I'm not a criminal, yet I was being treated like one. Charlie, if you go help me pull down my panties. If it's me, I go tell you, she be male officer. They don't see female officer send make it follow you. If be male officer, they go send make it follow you. Then if you reach the toilet there, you go help me pull down my trouser, okay? But you have work to do. My hands are numb. I've been sitting for a long time, so I can't open my trousers. Come and pull down my panties for me. Oh God. No, but it's not funny now. I'm just trying to imagine the whole scenario. So she said, when I returned, my best friend was being interrogated. After about 20 minutes, it was my turn. They asked what I do for a living, and I told them I am a DJ. They questioned who invited us and soon shifted focus to the organizers. They began asking personal questions like how the sponsor met her husband, who is sponsor, who is Nigerian, and reference records that shows she hadn't left the Philippines since 2019. Hey God. Like the person that is sponsoring the event, her husband is a Nigerian, right? I think from what I read, the husband of the person who is organizing the event is a Nigerian, and then the woman herself hadn't left Philippines since 2019. So they are now like wondering how did she meet her husband? It's not supposed to be my business. I'm only coming for event I was invited to, right? So how am I supposed to know how she met her husband at their business? Anyway, so I explained that she was already at the airport waiting for us and offered to call her so they could speak with her directly. She was willing to come forward, but they refused to speak to her or allow any contact. You see? Because I mean, if you have doubts, the person knows he's outside. So call him, ask him the questions, all those things where you want to know. If I call him, ask him, how did you meet your husband? You never traveled since. Are you okay? You know, stuffs like that. Anyway, let's continue. So they refused. We were held from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Charlie, that's 4 freaking hours. Chai. Then they took our baggage tags and told us to follow them to customs. At least 30 officers surrounded us, some holding cameras. We were terrified. They scanned our bags while speaking in their local language and continued to film us. Then they brought in a large dog to sniff our luggage and our bodies. Wow. More officers gathered. What followed, she said, was an intense and degrading interrogation and search process involving at least 30 officers, some of whom recorded them. They made us open our suitcases and went through everything, including our underwear, skincare, hair products, and even empty containers, Martin stated. They found nothing. They repeated the same process with my best friend and again found nothing. Some officers stopped recording, but others continued. There was also a mounted camera pointed at us the entire time. See, celebrity. Oh God, this thing is not funny, but I'm just trying to imagine the level of damage or how somebody can be so damaged that you can really have so much hate on somebody else, on your fellow human being. Anyway, we understand, yes, some Nigerians commit crimes in diaspora, right? But common sense should tell you that it's not everybody. And when you check somebody and you find nothing, the right thing to do is not to let them go. So all those extra stress and all, are they necessary? Anyway, see Philippines as well. Me, I don't even know where that one. Where is Philippines? Let me know in the comment section. So she said we tried to record for our own protection, but they told us it was not allowed. Still, we found a discreet way to capture parts of it. Afterward, they had the dog sniff our handbags, then search them by hand. Still, they found nothing. Then they brought the dog up to our bodies again. Once that yielded nothing, they told us to carry our bags and return to immigration. The next step was they denied entry without reason. Despite nothing incriminating being found, Martin said the officers told them they would not be allowed into the country without offering a reason. How, Charlie? By then, we were physically and emotionally drained. I can imagine. Because, I mean, imagine 4 hours. So, by then, we were physically and emotionally drained. My knees hurt so badly, I could barely stand. If it be me, I don't faint. This my knees where they manage. If person will come keep me for... If you keep me for 1 hour, I'm in trouble. God, I beg you. No carry me go any country where all this nonsense. I go face them. So he said by then, my best friend approached an officer to ask what was going on. They told her a final decision has been made. We would not be allowed into the country. No reason was given. When she asked why, they simply said it was a personal decision and could not be disclosed. Hey God. She said efforts by the event organizers, CCMNL, and even the Nigerian embassy in Manila to intervene were unsuccessful. The next stage was forced to sleep in a detention center. Martin said they were instead forced to spend the night in a cold holding area that resembled a detention center. She said all this time, CCMNL was doing everything they could to intervene. The people that invited her for the show, for the event. The Nigerian embassy intervened. The Nigerian embassy in Manila had already been contacted and was actively involved. Despite this, we were led to the transfer desk and told to book a return flight. Keep in mind, Keep in mind, our sponsors and loved ones had been waiting for us since 3 p.m. Oh, Charlie. We were asked if we had return ticket, which we did, and the staff helped us to reschedule. Hey, Martin continued. So since it was already 10:50 p.m. and the next flight to Qatar wasn't until 6 p.m. the next day, we were escorted by some male officers to what we were told was a lounge area to rest. When we arrived at the so-called lounge, our hearts sank. It looked like a detention center. Inside were other people, Africans, including fellow Nigerians. Some had made the place feel like home. What? I met a Nigerian man who had been detained there for a while. It was devastating. My goodness. By then, the authorities were fully involved. I personally sent emails to all the necessary contacts. She said the head of Chancery at the Nigerian embassy reached out, as well as the consular officer who contacted her and said they were coming to the airport. So around 4 a.m., they finally gained access to us. They did all they could, but still nothing changed, she said. The Nigerian embassy did everything they were supposed to do. They called, came physically, spoke to the relevant officials, and followed all the right protocols. Still, Manila Immigration refused us entry with no reason or explanation. That was the most painful part. The embassy officials left around 6 a.m. and promised to return, but by that point, we were freezing and exhausted. Oh my God. Martin described the condition of the detention as horrific, saying, "We asked for blankets, they said no. We asked for cardboard to sleep on like others had. They claimed not to have any. We later learned people had to pay for everything there inside the detention." Hey God. Eventually, we gathered some plastic bags and cartons to try and rest. 2 hours later, the cold woke us up. Chai. At 2 p.m., we still hadn't received any positive feedback. Our flight was now just a few hours away. As we waited, I spoke to the others being held and realized our story, though heartbreaking, wasn't even the worst. Hey! Some people hadn't seen sunlight in over a year. What? Cameras were everywhere, including in the restrooms. There were families. Despite persistent intervention from Nigerian consular officials, the decision to deny them entry remained unchanged. Children, one man screamed randomly. Others said he had been there for 4 months without seeing sunlight. Hey, a fellow Nigerian told me if Nigeria was working, most of us would never leave. Chai. That hit me deeply, she said. So she said a message from CCMNL, I mean the representative of the company that invited her for the event, came at exactly 2:05 p.m. and stated, "Good morning, Rachel. CCMNL just told me now that the immigration insisted on not letting you guys go. I am really sorry, really sorry for what they made you go through. It is humiliating and disheartening to get this kind of treatment despite all the efforts we made and the intervention from the Nigerian embassy in Manila." Is it Manila or Manila? "To salvage the situation." Martin described the incident as one of the most traumatic, degrading experiences I've ever endured, accusing Philippine immigration authorities of racial profiling and unjust treatment. As I write this, waiting for our flight home, I'm still trying to process the pain. This was one of the most traumatic, degrading experiences I have ever endured. We were racially profiled, humiliated, and treated like criminals. We had every required document. We had sponsorship, she stated. We had embassy support. Still, we were denied entry, mistreated, and locked in what looked like a holding cell without dignity, without answers. She called for justice. And there is guys, I beg, I needed to laugh. I said, no, justice. Justice from who? Nigeria. She called for justice and reassessment of how African travelers are treated globally. To the Nigerian government, to Philippine authorities, and to everyone reading this, please understand the depth of this pain. No one should ever be treated like this. No black person traveling for work should be made to feel this disposable, this invisible, this disrespected, Martin stated. I pray for healing, I pray for peace, I pray for justice, not just for me and my best friend, but everyone still stuck in that cold space. For those whose stories may never be heard, for those who simply wanted to be treated as human beings. This cannot continue. Enough is enough, she stressed. If you don't want Nigerians in your country, then why approve our visas? She asked. Why collect visa fees only to humiliate, detain, and send us back like criminals? Why set up detention centers and begin extorting us instead of simply returning people to their home countries? Why do you allow your citizens to live and thrive in Nigeria while mistreating ours abroad? Why not just place a ban instead of robbing people of time, energy, money, and dignity? What's the reason behind denying people entry, even when they have all the legal documents, sponsorship, and return tickets? What exactly are you afraid of? Why treat Nigerians like that when we come in peace and purpose? Why strip us of our dignity and call it procedure? You collect our money, you grant our visas, but when we show up, you treat us like we are nothing. Why? My sister, you're asking why? Who is your president? At least the respect for start from top, right? So I had to scroll through the comment section and let me read out some of the comments from Nigerians. Being identified as a Nigerian abroad is admitting to a crime you know nothing about. And these same Philippines will enter our country. Our immigration and police will worship their feet because they are white-skinned people. That's how conquered our mind is. It's sad though. See wetin Igbos don't cause Nigeria as abroad. Oh my God. You people are so funny. Okay, the Igbos still cause racism. That's nice. So this person said, this is inevitable when Nigerian ambassadors are recalled and not redeployed, and they are not handling the affairs of Nigeria in diaspora. This was the true reality of what we have become in the eyes of the world. Really sad. So this person said, don't blame Philippines. Every story as other side Nigerians at Philippines. How do they portray our image? Imagine carrying Nigerian fraternity cords from Nigeria to abroad, disguised on student visa, but doing Yahoo and all sort of fraud, drugs business. Check from their perspective. I agree with that comment, because the things that some Nigerians are doing over there, it reaches to worry, right? But the truth be told, there is difference between, yes, we know that these people are committing crimes in our country, then put a ban, say, no, don't grant visas anymore, right? Just like she said, you don't accept visa fee, collect the money, grant the visa, then when they get to the airport, you treat them like that. So if you are worried about how they are behaving in your country, you don't have to, let them in. You don't have to give them visa. Reject the visa, deny the visa, make they know say they know they come your country. Then when they finally get to the country, you've done your search, you've searched, the dog has sniffed, luggages have been checked, you didn't find anything. The right thing to do is to let them in. If maybe your gut said, oh, don't, then you just tell them no, you can't enter. Rebook your flight and return. Deport them immediately. Why put people in detention? Especially the ones you didn't find anything on. You see, that's a different case. It's understandable some Nigerians are committing crimes in all these countries. That is very understandable and condemnable. But when you decide to maltreat an innocent person because of that, now that is not right. I know that people from a certain this thing, I would avoid having any business with you. Right? Like I always said, I don't like associating with Nigerians, especially the ones in Ghana, Accra. I've made that mistake when I made that mistake, and it will never happen again. God save no. So because you already know that, okay, anywhere a lot of them would cause problems. So the right thing to do is to stay away from them, isn't it? So why would I pretend to like them, get close to them, only to cause unnecessary, disrespect and problems. It does not make sense. So since some Nigerians are committing these things in these countries, then don't grant them visas. Why take the visa fee? Why do you collect the visa fee from them? And then when they get to the airport, you grant the same visa. So why not just deny the visa so they won't bother processing, going through all that stress? Instead of letting them come, get to the airport, then you humiliate them. It does not make any sense. And no, according to what the DJ said, this was not just the Nigerians. Other African countries, other African citizens are in that detention center. Some people have been there for 1 year. Some have been there for months. Some families. Why? It does not make sense. Okay, the small children that are detained there with their families, what's their offense? Why not just deport them when you know you can't accept them entering your country? You deny them entrance, let them turn back and board the next flight. It's the right thing to do. Why would you detain them? Then let them sleep on the floor, cold floor. Okay, if you need a mat, you pay. If you need carton or any rag or whatever to lie down on, you pay. That's unnecessary wickedness. I beg. We need to start. I don't know. I need to leave this planet to make her go like maybe Jupiter or Pluto. Be like say life go day better there. No problem. I'm getting tired of humans. The inhumanity is too much. I don't know. Humans don't like themselves. So I need to go to another planet and exist with maybe aliens or other microorganisms. We're not gonna bother me. Anyway. So this person said it's not the fault of the Filipinos when you have a drug baron, a fraudster, and a womanizing wife snatcher at the helm of affairs in your country. How do you expect the world to view and treat you? It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I said this the other time. You don't expect people to disregard a Ghanaian when their presidents don't have any negative records like globally, right? You can't compare. We understand that yes, Nigerians commit crime. A lot of Nigerians commit crime, but not all. Even if they were innocent, even if no Nigerian is committing any crime somewhere, the fact that they have this kind of people at the helm of affairs is an automatic disrespect on you. Anyway, and for her asking for justice, I'm sorry, nothing is going to be done. So does it now mean that the embassies, the Nigerian embassies in all these countries don't even have a say? Because I mean, isn't it supposed to be, if I have an issue at the airport now and I call the commissioner or the Nigerian embassy here in Ghana, their duty is to come and confirm that yes, this is our citizen. Okay, yes, she's our responsibility now. It's okay, let her come. I thought that's what they're supposed to do. So imagine if your embassy cannot even save you. So what's the essence of these embassies existing in these countries? Somebody should explain to me, because it does not make any sense at all. You were detained, it refused you to enter. Embassy came, embassy called, they refused. Embassy came, they still refused. So that means they are indirectly telling you that even your embassy no get level for there. They are just collecting their rent and tax from your embassy. Their work, because if the embassy is functioning as it should, if the embassy is regarded, why are people in detention for over a year? This is a serious issue. And no, it has nothing to do with just Nigerians. She said other Africans are there in that detention. Filipino, another third world country for that matter. So this thing should be worrisome. People should really get worried and stop. I've been shouting this thing. Africans, the earlier we understand and read between the lines, the better for all of us. Hey. So this person, Emmanuel, said that's what you get when Escobar is your president. Oh, this person said yes, because you don't have government, no ambassadors, all the politicians are busy with their pockets. The whole world knows. It's very painful. This person asks, what are you going to do in Philippines, one of useless countries in Asia? Well, she said she had an event. Somebody invited her, sponsored her to come perform for an event. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that. This was it will reach everybody. How it will happen is what I can't tell or predict. This one said, Nigerians at home are not treated any better, my love. It rains everywhere. You know the part she was saying, how Nigerians are being treated in the diaspora. This situation arises because Nigeria lacks diplomatic representation in these countries, which contributes to such human rights concerns. Oh God. This one said it's good for her. When people talk about bad governance, they all keep quiet, especially these ones who manage the sea funds from politicians and big companies that pay for arts. Una go let the hard way. Honestly, that is true. Because when maybe there's demonstration or protest and all that, they don't lay their own voice. The celebrities you hardly see some of them condemning these things from the government. You see, so people are taking notice. You will not take part because you are on their payroll, and maybe some companies are sponsoring you, paying for ads and all that. So when they are condemning what they are doing, you keep quiet. Then it will reach you too. Anyway, it is well. A lot of comments, man, and it's heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking. May God no allow us suffer for waiting we no commit to. Waiting. May my sins no ever near my children. Nothing like the sins of my father or sins of my mother should not come near my life. I can't imagine such pain. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you think can be done for this kind of thing to stop? Now, this has nothing to do with Nigeria as a nation. This has something to do with Africans, dark-skinned Africans, because of course everybody is not Nigerian. So the other African citizens that are in that detention center, I'm not sure they were using Nigerian passports. Okay, so this should be worrisome. Like, everybody should really, I don't know, what do you think can be done for this kind of treatments to stop in some of these airports? What exactly do you think is the cause? Yes, we've come to that agreement that what some citizens of these countries, especially Nigeria, do in other countries are parts of the reasons why they put this ban, they get all this. But the fact where they need to really get so disrespectful, humiliating and hateful, what do you think is the cause? I think she's right with the racism part, because if they are not racist, what else explains that behavior? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Okay, I've finished my coffee. Now I gotta go. So guys, if you're new here, you're welcome. My name is Ella Chilaka, the Ohema Abna of the Asante Kingdom and the whole of Ghana. Let me know what you think about this issue, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like my kind of contents. Have you liked this video, by the way? Please click that like button, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.